I'd like to get together with him at some point, but we'll take one at a time. Terrific, thank you very much. So the last item is going to be the report on the investigation into the security breach. And I have a one-paper handout for each of us. There you go. And I should be, I should also just very quickly explain, I probably wasn't very clear. At the last meeting, I talked about not having a report, wasn't able to print it. The reason that I wasn't able to print that report, and the media had some fun with this, and that's okay, because I didn't explain it very well, but I was adding additional security onto my computer system and also onto my router, and I had some issues with reconnecting the printers, and that's all fixed now, so I'm in good shape. So the forensic investigation, after the council gave me permission to contact Dustin, the email provider, I did contact him, and I brought with me someone else who has the same kind of expertise and background that I have, Michael Wood. I haven't mentioned this before, but my long last years with Honeywell, I was information security worldwide for Honeywell's voice and data network. I had the information security responsibility for the proprietary HVN, HDN, the data and voice networks, and computer security. And I stuck pretty close to my team over the years, so I had one other individual with whom I did a lot of security presentations, especially in Norway when I was still with Honeywell. The technology changes, but the concepts don't, and you sort of you know what you have to check when you're looking for these sorts of things. So I'm going to read this report very quickly. It's called a forensic investigation into email security breach, final report. A security breach was discovered by Orland Kringstad when he realized that his read status of some of the emails in the account, orland@cityoftower.com, went from unread to read without any action on his behalf. There is computer screen recorder video evidence of this. With approval from the Tower City Council, Kringstad obtained a log from the email provider which shows the activity on this account from February 10th to March 13th. By studying the video evidence and the log, we've reached the following conclusions. A large number of IP addresses have been used to access or log into the email account, orland@cityoftower.com, and there's a list of IP addresses at the end of the report. A large portion of these addresses are legitimate addresses used by myself in various locations that I visit regularly. My own home, Nordic Home North, our business, the retail store, the Margin Motel, and during some of the travels that I've made over the past 2 months. Some of those, a couple of those are still unidentified, but they can be assumed to be at the in Brainerd at the conference that I attended for LMC. 2 addresses have been used for illegitimate logging into and downloading emails from the account. There are 3 IP addresses that have accessed and downloaded emails from the account, orland@cityoftower.com. These are, and I'm not going to read the IP addresses, but they're, the ones, the first one is 96.2.131.34, so now you know why I'm not going to read all of them. The first 96 dot is the public IP address of the Kringstad residence in Tower, and the second 64 is the public IP address for the Tower City Hall network. We also looked at who the providers were. Consolidated Telephone is one. Of course, Midco is one. Frontier is one. There are several others. There's some Comcast as well. The third address beginning with 172 has not yet been identified. With these addresses have all been accessing the account consistently throughout the period covered by the log. In order to log into and download emails from an email account, one must know the account's password. Only 2 people should have known the password to the above account during this period. The Tower City Clerk, Linda, who requested the account and password from the City of Tower ISP service, TechBytes, and myself, who was provided with the password also by Linda. No one else knew the password. I should point out at this point that I'm simply explaining the information that I discovered during this research and not making any accusations. That's not for me to do. This makes it clear that somebody with knowledge of the password to orland@cityoftower.com has used a computer connected to this Tower City Hall network to log in and retrieve the emails from this account. This has been going on for the whole duration of the time covered by the log. More than 50 emails were retrieved by the City Hall IP address during this period. Kringstad has not had access to City Hall network before March 19th. You recall I didn't have keys for the building, and I never had access to the Wi-Fi in the building. When Kringstad obtained the necessary Wi-Fi password while working for the first time in the Tower City Hall Mayor's office outside of the general office area, it left really just 2 people. Leaves Linda Keith as the only one with knowledge both of the email password and access to the City Hall computers. The last login from the City Hall IP address is on March 11th at 8:36 p.m. There are no illegal attempts from any IP address after that time. This was about the same time the council meeting was adjourned after I announced the security breach. So after I announced at the last meeting the security breach, the break-ins ceased to happen. The third IP address that's been downloading emails from the account, 172.76.36.84, has consistently been logging into the account throughout the log period. A few emails, we found 3, have been downloading from this address, specifically on February 27th and March 1st. This address, which is on a Frontier connection, has not been identified. 2 other IP addresses which would be of interest to identify are, and I mentioned the IP address again, used on February 13th and 16th. And I list some more IP addresses used on February 14th, 26th, and March 5th. They're both located in or near Tower. Both of these addresses have logged into the account over short periods of time but have not been found to have actually downloaded emails, simply accessing the account. The underlying evidence for this report can be made available on request. So we have we have all of the screen recordings, we have the download logs, all of the information. There's also a listing here of the IP addresses which have been used to access my email account. And the last one I actually pinged, we set up a ping trap on my colleague's computer, and that was this past weekend past week when I went to my daughter's home, and she wasn't home, but I went into the driveway, got on her internet, pinged the email address, and one of the unknown IP addresses was determined to be hers. So there are several IP addresses that I have downloaded my email, but have not been determined yet. I can't carry this any further. The individual who did most of the research has been teaching computer, actually internet and server security for about the last 25 years. We're very close, and I trust his ability, and I've also vetted much of what he has uncovered with my own research. I didn't know where to go from here. I really couldn't carry this any further, so I called the city attorney, Andy Peterson, who said that He could not go any further with this either. Doing this kind of tech or cyber research is something that's not in his purview, and he recommended that I contact the county attorney, Mark Rubin. And so I contacted Mark Rubin, and Mark became very interested. He asked me to hold on to the information so that his investigators could have it. And at this point, I don't know where it's going to go, but it's been assigned to 2 deputy sheriffs, one of whom has cyber experience and knowledge. So the saga is over as far as the break-ins are occurring. I found out from Dustin, the email provider, how to change my own email password. I passed that on to City Hall, to Terry, and she sent those instructions on to all of the other council members so that they can protect their passwords as well. I leave it up to City Hall to pass that information on to any other city employees who want to make sure that they protect their email as well. And that's as far as I've come at this point, but I expect that I'll hear back from the county attorney sometime in the next week or two. As I say, there are several IP addresses that I'm not able to ping, but with the subpoena, the researcher, whoever's doing the investigation will be able to do that. That's the essence of the report, and I can take questions from the council. Okay, so I will keep you informed, and I was told by Mark Rubin that I should spread the word that any email that has been accessed, any of my email that has been accessed, hopefully will not be eliminated from any computer that has accessed my computer and open my email, because that would be obstruction of justice, and you know where that goes. So that's the end of that report, if there's no other questions. That's the last agenda item, except if somebody wants to adjourn this meeting. I hope you all had a